Lovers, for this week's 1v1 commander, I decided to bring on the cats. So I think a lot of people have forgotten about this deck. Edgar Markov kind of completely eclipsed this deck. They both came out at the same time. This was a really good deck. People were playing it, but Edgar Markov was just so much better that people just kind of stopped playing this. And then Edgar Markov was banned, and I haven't really seen this deck since, and I wanted to know if it's still as good as it used to be, because it used to be quite good. It's a little bit weak to targeted removal, because once you put this +3 plus instant speed specifically, once you put this +3/+3 on something, if they can kill that creature 2 or 3 times, it'll probably stall you out enough that they can recover. But it does take a couple of removal spells to really stall you out. Otherwise, if they don't have it, like, you can really beat down really hard, really fast. So I figured I'd give it a try, see how it does. I did have to replace the Sylvan Library, what was in the deck. I don't actually remember what I replaced it with. I did this a couple weeks ago. I was going to play this deck, but then I decided that I would do 2 more weeks of Guilds of Ravnica commanders. So I wanted to stick all the Guilds of Ravnica together, and then I figured I'd just do this after that. So I think it was the Heroic Intervention, which is a poor replacement for Sylvan Library, but there isn't really a replacement for Sylvan Library. Maybe Miri's Guile would be nearly as good. It's not, but I figure this is good against, like, targeted removal and whatnot. I had to replace it with something, Vines of Asswood might also be good. We're already running, like, Blossoming Defense or something like that. Either one would probably work fine. This is better Wrath protection, although this deck isn't super soft to Wrath. You really only need to play out 1 or 2 cats to get a good roll going. So I figured I would retest the deck. It's been a while since I played it, see how it does. And if it does really well, I'm going to take it to a league. I don't suspect that it'll do particularly well at a league, but it could. And so I want to see. So if I get 2 and 3 in a league, I'm pretty happy. If I get 3 and 2, then I'm ecstatic. But we'll just see how everything goes. All right, my opponent went first, dropped a land. We'll just drop this white land. It's their only white land right now. Don't think we have a strong reason to hold our fetches anyways in this deck. And we'll just play the cat. 1/1 lifelinker. And they got a red land. I'm a little bit worried about removal here. Removal would eat my Rancor if I put my Rancor on this before combat. Let's just go to and attack. Oh, this thing is a cat, isn't it? That's cool. Alright, let's say go. We got 4 damage in. We gained 4 life. It's not nothing. Alright, there's Yasova. Alright. Well, it's not going to have power less than this next turn. Now that they've tapped out, we know that it's safe to Rancor and Grifspoon, both of which we can get back if they do manage to kill the creature. Fire, which could tangle up my opponent next turn. We're not going to do that this turn. I want to get this Rancor on. And I want to get this Grifspoon on. And get in for 7 and gain 7 life. It does only have 2 toughness, so they might be able to kill it. In which case, I obviously don't want a Tangle Wire. Right, they have a Simic Signet. That makes me a little less afraid of a kill spell. Looks like they're just getting in for 4. Nope. Not even getting in. There's no blocks, though. I mean, like, you... Alright. So this taps down 4 things? I think, yeah. I think we do want to Tangle Wire. Artifact, creature, land. So I can tap down 2 lands and Tangle Wire. For another 7. They're at 12. Let's go ahead and do that. And they have to tap down 4 things. They could keep 1 land untapped if they want to tap Yasova. Alright, they just pack it in. Match, I am on the play. This seems fine. Go ahead and keep that. We were playing against Omnath. Big Daddy Omnath. 7 mana guy. So, pretty slow commander. We got a Planeswalker here. That could be good. Let's just go ahead and lead off with the Lifelinker guy, I think. He drew this thing. That's pretty cool. So, let's get in for 4. Play the Wily Bandar and a land. Plays a Bright Hearth, Banneret, Elemental spells and Warrior spells. Costs 1 less. Is this an Elemental? I assume it is. Yep. Alright. Oh man, that Mana Tithe? I love me a Mana Tithe. We'll get in. I should have played a land first. I could have threatened to make this indestructible. I'm not going to make it indestructible, but it would have at least threatened it. I don't think they want to block with that anyways, so it's of marginal value. But I think I want this giant cat because it does more damage next turn. And then I can play the Johnny and put a token, a counter on it. It's a 5/5, and then +3 is an 8/8. That's pretty big. We have Magus of the Moon me. Alright. Maybe I actually pump up something else. It's the same amount of damage either way. It's actually more damage. Alright, well, at least I'm only a 2-color deck. There's a decent chance I can draw. Let's pump up this thing and get in there. I'm not going to exert this and make a token. I want to force them to have to block with this at some point, and I do have the Mana Tithe. I just played a Grolturf as a mountain, and are saying go. I got a Blade. That's actually pretty awesome. We'll go ahead and get in here. Demonstrate that Magus in the Moon doesn't do that much when you already have a board presence. This 8 damage would put him down to 5 life. They have a Chaos Warp. Alright, can't Mana Tithe that. So that was some targeted removal. Pretty timely there. Still going to get in with this 3/3. Not going to make another cat here. And we will play the Blade because it's giant. And then I can pump up this thing, attack with this thing, and attack with this thing. That's a lot of damage. And they need 1 more mana to play Omnath. And I might just be able to circumvent it or hold up the Mana Tithe. Because generally you don't... Well, I mean, and that includes playing their mana for the turn. Depends on what they got here. Mina and Den. Wildborn. So they got a 4/4. And we got a 2/2 flyer as well. So I think we just get in with everything here. Alright. Penumbra Bobcat. So let's pump this thing. And just get in with everything. It can profitably block 1 thing. Okay. It's still a lot of damage. Alright, they're blocking that. Okay, so that's actually a profitable block as well. But it makes it so they can't cast Omnath at 6. they can cast it at 7. Change their mind. They are blocking with the Magus of the Moon. They want to unlock their Gruul Turf. Makes sense. Let's go ahead and play this Jungle Lion and say go. So if they play a land first, they can play around Mana Tithe. If they don't, Mana Tithe gets them. Mana Tithe. But you never want to play a land first with Omnath. Is that the GG? That's the GG. That was a match, so this is game 2. I'm on the draw this time. I'm going to keep this. We got some awkward lands, but Wasteland's pretty good. And Tango Wire is very good against something that's looking to cast a 7-mana commander. And the deck's kind of built around this commander too, so they want to ramp up. And so we can just play the Leonid Elder. Hopefully that's good enough. We got this Glittering Lynx. Maybe we start with that. Just because it's prevent all damage. Alright, another land's pretty good. Alright, they have a Lumberjack. No, I accidentally clicked that. There we go. So they can't block with it. Well, I mean, they can block with it, but it doesn't do anything. We get another cat here, which is awesome. I guess we could... It's a 4/4 anyways. I don't think they want to block. Sacrifice a forest. That thing is really good. And so let's just play the Elder. Let's say go. We got a Harrow. 2 basic land cards. Alright, so I guess now is the opportunity where I have to Tango Wire. Otherwise, this thing gets them to their commander. Alright, so let's just attack. I'm going to pump up this thing. They can spend their 2 mana and undo this ability and trade for the Orcish Lumberjack, but I don't think they want to do that. And then we'll just go ahead and play out a Tango Wire and hope that that's good enough. Only got them down to 22 so far. Yeah. Gain a life from the Leonid Elder. Pack it into the... I think they probably could have gotten there, honestly. You just have to wait it out, although that is quite a few turns. But they might have been able to get there. At another game, I am on the play again, which is fantastic. Yeah, okay, we'll keep this. Council's Judgment, pretty good. Playing against Kess. Okay, so a real deck. This is the kind of things I want to test. And they're probably going to have a lot of removal. At least we do have the Council's Judgment to deal with Kess once it comes down. But we could just get, you know, faithless looting. Okay. Could get Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push on turn 1 and would really slow us down quite a bit. They might have a few Wraths in this deck. They usually do, I believe. Jit. Alright, that gives me something to play on turn 2 as well. And it's fantastically good. So we'll play that. I don't know how good it is specifically against Kess, but let's find out. It's not great if they just kill the creature. Alright, opting. Preordain. So we know it's safe to equip the Jit. There's a Blade of the Sixth Pride. I'm going to equip the Jit. 2 counters seems great. We'll play a land. Pump it up. Get in there. And this makes us not as weak to mass removal. I mean, we're weak to a removal spell. I guess 2 creatures isn't exactly weak to mass removal. But Jit has the opportunity to put a lot of damage out there. Oh, Entomb, okay. That's not good. Are they going to just reanimate something right now? I do have Council's Judgment. It looks like they're going to reanimate Gristlebrand. Goryo's Vengeancing Gristlebrand. Alright, so I don't have to worry about entombing it. But they can recast Goryo's Vengeance with Kess. They're just straight drawing 7 cards right away. And again. And then they gain 7 life. They have 18 cards in their hand. Do they have just like a combo win? Okay, they got a Chromox. Discarding Who Cares What. They have 24 cards in their hand. They actually drew another 7 more. So they're at 6 life. And they spent a while thinking, so I paused it. A Gamble, which they're almost certain... Did they exile... Oh, Simian Spirit Guide. I'm like, they didn't tap that for red. So they probably get to keep whatever they... Because the odds are very good. They discarded a Burnt Offering. It looks like there's some kind of crazy combo going on here. And we're just set up to beat face. We're not set up to deal with a crazy combo. They just passed the turn and said, and then, I mean, they're dead. So, okay. Maybe they didn't get there. Seems strange. They needed to discard literally any other card, and I was dead. So this is a match. I'm happy to see more of this deck and see where it's going. Playing Alina and War Leader on turn 4 doesn't seem like where I want to be. And I don't think this does it either. Unless we specifically scry. Alright, there we go. Keep. And then I don't really want Alina and War Leader. Sad to miss out on the Armageddon. But... So we're on the draw this time. Cobble Therapy. I doubt they can name a card that I have in my hand. They could maybe luckily guess Savannah Lions. Guess Sacred Cat, which is actually not a great pick because that one can come back from the graveyard anyways. So I'm not sure I'd pick that specific card. But oh well. They know what we have in our hand now. Sword of Fire and Ice. So we will untap. We will play the Savannah Lions, and we will say go. They played a tapped Sacred Falls. Sulfur Falls. I keep wanting to target, but it's the only target. Seems like they probably have a Fatal Push or something like that. Let's get in for 5. I maybe should have played the Qasali Pride Mage. I forgot it has Exalted. Let's do that next turn. We'll start off with this thing. The Fleecemane Lion. Although I might just attack with 2 creatures next turn. So I missed out on 1 damage there. On the other side of things, I'm gaining 1 damage by playing a 3/3 instead of a 2/2. So I guess it evens out. There's a Desperate Ritual. This is clearly a combo deck. They can't cast Kess off that. Frantic Surge. Okay, now they can probably cast Kess. Serum Visions. They discarded a Yawgmoth's Will and a Dragonclaw Summit. So now they can't cast Kess. But they might be looking to set something else up. It seems pretty obvious they're trying to. So Putrid Imp. Alright, let's them discard cards. They get up to 7 in their graveyard, which they're at 6, then it can no longer block. They're just casting it with Flashback. Probably taking my Skull Clamp. They pick Skull Clamp, and I've discarded my Skull Clamp. Alright. So if I attack with 1 creature... So this is a 6/6, a 7/7. If I attack with 2 creatures, this is a 5/5 4, and this is okay. So yeah, let's attack with these 2 creatures. We'll spread out the damage. This also makes me less soft to Fatal Push. And then we'll play the Sword of Fire and Ice instead of the Qasali Pride Mage. Sword of Fire Ice gets us through Kess, but not all the removal that's available. Just the red removal. Alright, get in for 8 damage. They shouldn't be able to counter. They're at 17. And we'll just say go. They're pieces of the puzzling. Reveal the top 5 cards. 5 cards revealed. And they pack it in. Alright. We weren't giving them much time, so that's definitely to our advantage. Getting the Fleece Mane Lion with a Sword of Fire and Ice would be pretty good. I'm not sure what they were trying to set up. Another game, I'm on the draw. I got a 1-lander here, but a couple of creatures. Well, I need another land to play this one. This seems a little risky, and I think we can afford to mulligan. Mulligan again. This one's fine. We don't have a 1-drop. A little bit unfortunate. Enters the battlefield. X's player. Number of players. I don't want another land. I'd rather have a 1-drop if I can find one. But I'm set on lands here. Playing against Elesh Norn. Alright, well if they get to Elesh Norn, I'm done. That's all there is to say about that. Alright, and we don't have a turn 1 play. Sword of Fire and Ice might accelerate things a bit. Alright, opponent Terramorphic Expansed for another land and just said go. Deal damage, untap, target creature or land. That might actually be pretty good. So we'll go with this one first. It also does the most damage. I'm not sure why you need Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse in your mono white deck. But okay. I'm not sure they've really been stopping my opponent from doing anything they wanted to do anyways. So we'll play the Sword of Fire and Ice. We will... Alright, auto targets. I always forget that. We'll get in. And then we get to untap a land and we can play the Wild Mikado. So that's pretty good. Which is only ever going to be a 2-2. We don't have any mountains. We can't play mountains in our deck. Alright, and then we will play the Wild Mikado. Opponent plays a Howling Mine and says go. Seems a little dangerous. And then the Howling Mine triggers. Heroic Intervention. Oh. I hit F2 too many times. And now I don't get equipped the Sword of Fire and Ice. That's actually pretty critical. Go ahead and attack with all. Doing 8 more damage. And then we'll untap this thing, I guess. That's really unfortunate. Do we equip it this turn? I didn't... F6. I don't know what's going on here. It's like passing when I didn't mean to pass. That's strange. Alright. Deal damage to you. That player sacrifices a permanent. Okay. We can deal with that. Alright, I drew 2 lands. So we're just gonna equip that. And then I'll play that. Am I gonna equip it? Let's equip it. And I think I'm just going to sacrifice 2 permanents. I think I'm fine with that. This is a lot of damage. And they might need to block, actually. Which means we only sacrifice 1 permanent, and then if they don't block the Sword of Fire and Ice, then we just get to kill it. Let's untap this thing. Let's burn that thing. I could sacrifice a Wild Nacatl and draw 2 cards, but there's a Howling Mine in play. We'll just sacrifice this. And sacrifice that. Don't really care about my lands. They're at 5 life. Drew a Step Links. And we'll play a Step Links. And they decide they're done. They're not going to get to Elesh Norn next turn anyways. This thing actually survives Elesh Norn. Alright, got another game. I am on the play, which is always good for me. Yeah, this seems like a great hand. We got a 2/2 Wild Nacatl that becomes a 5/5. We got a Tangle Wire. Step Links is good. Seems great. Alright, I think I'm going to crack... Doesn't matter which one I crack, but I do have to crack one of them to play the Wild Nacatl, and I think I want to lead off with the Wild Nacatl. Alright. And say go. I am playing against Grand Arbiter Augustin. So, a controlling deck. Alright, so we'll go ahead and attack. And we got 2 fetch lands to trigger the Step Links, which are pretty awesome. So, let's play the Step Links. They got like a 4-spike. Should I have played my planes first? I might have maybe should have played it first. But if they're not 4-spiking Tangle Wire, that's good for me. Alright. Play the planes, which I should have played first. There was no reason not to. I mean, having it be a 2/3 on my turn doesn't matter for anything. Opponent is Dirtling. So that's a good sign. So we're going to fetch pre-combat. Mutavault's pretty good as well, because we can play that post. We'll always yield to that. This is going to be a lot of damage. Yeah, we'll get Temple Garden and pay some life for it. And then pump up this thing, spread out the damage. Get in for 9. And tangle it up. I just remembered the other card that I had to cut was Winter Orb. That's what became the Leonin War Leader, which I haven't liked so far. Maybe I'll cut the Leonin War Leader. So, it's a poor substitute for a Winter Orb. I'm going to try the Static Orb here. It might work. And then we'll cut the Leonin War Leader. It's just too expensive. It doesn't do enough. It's just way too expensive. And also, what's the name of the card? Rishadenport. I'm pretty sure not in this deck. Probably didn't have it when I assembled this deck. I have it now. Just cut up planes for it, I think. I'm pretty sure that belongs in the deck. Got another game. I keep getting on the play, which definitely helps me out a lot. Got a 1/2 cat here. Seems fine. Double striking cat seems great. Guess we'll start out with the flagstones. It's wasteland proof. Against another aggro deck, a Najeela, the Blade Blossom. So this should be interesting, and it's also another real deck. So see how this goes. Opponent just plays Forest Go. We'll play a land. Shoot. I played the wrong land. This isn't a plains. That sucks. Well, we got the Sky Hunter Skirmisher. Hopefully they don't have removal for it. They might just burn the removal on the Sanctuary Cat. 2 green. That's pretty good for me. And then we can follow up with we can just tap them down forever? That's probably better than the Skirmisher, honestly. It's hard to say. They can't have days. They're in blue, but they don't have plains or a fort island. That's the card. This card has continuously won me the game. Basically every time I played it, people just quit. I assume in tournament situations that people won't quit to a Tangle Wire. They might try to run it out. But in just for fun room, people just quit. Alright, so I might have wanted to play more games to test this out, but I've run out of opponents who want to play me. Everybody's just kind of conceding out a lot of the people I've ran into before. And some people just concede just to Arahbo, even if I haven't played them before. I've had that for about 3 different games. So I would have liked to have seen how this static orb works. It's got to be better than Leonard War Leader. So I guess we'll just call it that. So I guess I'm going to take it to a league. Obviously the deck's good. Very good record. Perfect record. Didn't lose a single game. But is it good enough? Well, wait till tomorrow. We'll find out. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.